owner and artisan over here at NTS Design Co. I come live with you guys on this fabulous Dixie Belle Paint page every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Today we're going to have some fun today, and we are going to be blending Terra paints. If you haven't used Terra paints before, they are a clay-based paint, and they're super amazing and super vibrant, and they're just really fun to blend with and just have a lot of fun. And there's great movement. I'm looking for my water bottle. I forgot my water bottle. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. They're just a super fun paint. So if you haven't done them already, I definitely highly suggest that you use them. And Dixie Belle just started selling the Terra paints in little 4-ounce containers. So if you want to try it and you don't want to commit to a giant container, you can hop on over to your local retailer and you can get the smaller containers as well. And they come with the lids that you need to use, the little paint can openers. Hello, Patty. How are you this morning, sweetheart? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope everybody is. I just got back from vacation. I went to the beach for a little overnight trip, which is super refreshing and super good for the soul. Definitely good. I'm just trying to pull out all my colors that I'm using today. I did one of these nightstands, and now I want to do the other one to make sure that they match. That's important, right? Matching furniture. I don't like to do matching furniture because I have a really hard time recreating the same exact look that I've already done on another piece of furniture. We're not going to do the front. That's what that's. We're going to do the sides of this guy. I have a screwdriver somewhere in here, but not in front of me. So we'll just do the sides, and that's okay. It's gonna look like that. So we're gonna blend on this beautiful piece. And the colors, I brought all the brushes. Probably won't use all those, but I brought them all. I will be using my Big Daddy today. I'm really excited. This one's a brand new one. My other one is dirty because I did not wash my paintbrushes and they've been sitting in water for a few days. Bad brush mommy. Okay, so we're going to paint this side of the dresser, nightstand, dresser, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna make sure you guys have a really good angle on that. And let's see, the first color paint that I will be using today is going to be Onyx. Onyx is a beautiful, deep, dark black, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It is very dark. All right, so I'm gonna move that on over there. I'm gonna take a little popsicle stick and we're just gonna blend that up just real quick. Okay, now I'm going to go in with that first, and then we're gonna blend into elderberry. I'm gonna open that one, and I'm gonna just open all my paints because I don't want to stop once I get in the mood. All right, so elderberry, beautiful, right? It's like a eggplant. You just ordered Onyx. Oh, Patty, yeah, it's so pretty. It's so stinking pretty. All right, Onyx, elderberry. We are going to use pistachio. Pistachio is my wild card. I'm going to use very little of it, but it's going to give me that effect that I am looking for. Isn't that gorgeous? That's my wild card. I'm going to use very little of this as well. This is just going to brighten it up. When I have such dark colors, I like to use one color that does brighten it just a bit. And I will be using the fabulous Lonnie's Lagoon. Look at that color, right? I love that this color, when I'm doing it on dark pieces of furniture, it looks like it glows. Like it just looks like it glows. It's so pretty. I really do love it. Okay, now we're going to come in with the color. I have a really hard time pronouncing this color, just because I can't. I don't know. Bougainvillea. I feel like every time I say it, I get a little bit closer, but I know it's still wrong. So that's this beautiful hot pink color. Kind of matches my shirt. Actually, it almost like identically matches my shirt. So kudos to that. All right, so now let's get the paint in. So I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna use that brush that lens for that. I'm like lining up my brushes already so I don't get them confused in what I am doing. Okay, and this one for that one. All right, so I ended up just using a few. All right, so we're gonna come in with Onyx. I'm going to wet my brush. As you guys know, I like to wet my brushes. Not saturate, but I like to make them damp. I work in that water, and while I'm doing that, I'm making sure that I'm not getting any debris left over anywhere. Because sometimes, like when it's in my shop, there might be a piece of paint that gets stuck in there. Don't pronounce the L's. Is that how you say it? Well, now I can't say it at all. My brain doesn't work this way. I just can't do it. Okay, whatever. We're just, see, I almost dipped it in there because we're talking about it. Okay, we're going to go in with the onyx, and I'm going to use about, well, we're going to use more than that. We're going to go a little heavier. We're going to go in heavy with that, and then I'm just going to paint her right on. I feel like we're going to bring you in just a little closer and pop you down. You don't need to watch me. I'm boring, but you can watch what I'm doing. All right. I love that I can use my Terra paint right on this furniture, right on over it. It sticks amazingly, sticks, adhesion, has great adhesion. I think that's the proper way to say that. It has wonderful adhesion. I'm gonna lift this up and get my feet. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Just painting the back of a leg, it's not really exciting. Okay, there we go. Grab that, I'll get the inside of that leg over there. All right, I am going to put on my first base coat, and then I'm going to dry it with a heat gun. And then I am going to put on another coat, and we're going to blend on in with that. So that's what we're doing. Just kind of laying that down. I'm going to lay this over here so I don't get that in the way. We're going to use, make sure you guys can see through me. Let me move over to the side just a little bit more. Watching me on my back is not exactly fun for you, I'm sure. All right, there we go. Now we're going to go in with this beautiful elderberry. This is beautiful, perfect. I feel like it's the perfect purple. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's like plum. I don't know. I just really love it. And I'm blending right in down into that onyx. I'm not purposely blending. We're just going to kind of melt those colors together just so I kind of have an idea of where I want them to go while still I have the other piece next to me so I don't go rogue, because that's the problem with painting two pieces is I have such a hard time matching them. I don't know if anybody else out there does, but if you feel like you do, don't worry, you're not alone. I struggle with that so much, trying to get it all matchy-matchy. And I feel like, yes, it should be matchy-matchy if you're doing two pieces identically, but at the same time, I feel like I'm an artist and I'm not a machine, so it's not going to be perfect and it's not going to be matchy-matchy. Okay, so now I feel like I want to go just a little higher with this beautiful elderberry. We're just going to come about halfway. And again, we're just laying this beautiful color down. We're not worried about like blending it right now perfectly. We're just going to put the color down. All right, and make sure I'm not missing any comments. Now I'm going to come in with this beautiful bougainvillea. I feel like don't say the L's. That's how I would pronounce it. Look how bright and vibrant that color is. That color is gorgeous. And we're just going to kind of like halfway blend down a little bit. Big truck driving down the road. I live next to a tree processing plant, so it's kind of loud sometimes, especially during the mornings. All right, so that's about, I'm going to blend down about that far. I'll probably come up a little higher. Lay that beautiful pink down. All right. Anybody doing anything fun this summer? Anybody have any beautiful plans that you guys are doing, going on? Any fun vacations? We just went on our little first mini vacation. I told my kids we weren't doing a big vacation this year, but we would go on a bunch of little mini day trips, which I feel like will be fun. I live super close to the beach and I live super close to the mountains. So I am fortunate enough to be able to travel both those places within a day. So that's kind of nice. All right. Now I'm just going to kind of bring that down just a little bit. You guys notice I haven't used any water. I don't want this to be any wetter than it really needs to be right now. I'm just laying my colors down. On my second coat, I will be blending and I will be using water. And these paints, they work so well that you could almost blend them without it, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Now we're gonna add in some of Lonnie's Lagoon. I'm only dipping like a little bit of my paintbrush in there, and I am just gonna kind of very seldomly just drag some down. That's about all I'm using there. I'm gonna come in with my pistachio. I'm gonna go heavier with that pistachio because I want more of that green in there. Just using Lonnie's Lagoon as a highlight, and I'm using this green as my accent color just to kind of muck it up a little bit. Okay. I need a rag. I forgot a rag. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that. Here it is. Dun, 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 dun. I'm so bad about that. Like, I forgot my rag. How am I going to blend without a rag? You definitely need a rag when you're blending. Hello. How are you going to blend with that one? I'm going to just use a clean brush that doesn't have anything on it right now. And I'm just going to go ahead and blend that in just so I don't muck up one that's got my colors on it. See how it just gives it that little bit? We're just changing that color just a little bit. You can blend any way we want. I like to go both ways so I don't have that very striated look. All right, and I want to come in with more green over here. Pistachio is such a fun color. Again, you can go both ways. You can do circles. You can blend any which way you want. Whatever makes you happy. Again, this is just our first coat, just laying our colors down. All right, now I'm going to take my brush and offload it so that I don't have all that paint on there, so that when I blend on my second coat, it will be ready. And pull my heat gun over to me, and we're going to dry this baby real quick, because with the clay-based paints, they change when they dry. If you haven't used clay-based paints before, they change when they dry just a little bit. You can watch the magic happen right before your eyes. So it's going to have that like dry look, and then when you add your top coat, it will bring it back to life. This is also why I didn't want to use water. I wanted this to be able to dry quickly, because my second coat I will use water, and I'm just going to let that dry while I'm painting the other side. So we're going to paint both sides of this dresser today, and I did bring my screwdriver over here, so if you have time you can paint the front as well. I did a raised stencil on the other one, which I will be redoing on this one. I won't be getting to that today though, but we can do that another day. The raised stencil was really pretty. I'll start down here where it's been sitting a little longer, and you can see how it dries. It is a different color. It's not bad. It just brightens it up just a little bit, where this is more deeper when it's wet. With the clay-based paints, if I had to run out and go run some errands and do some things, or something happened and there was an emergency and I had to stop and come back to this, I could pick up exactly where I left off. The only thing I would have to do is just activate my paint with water. That is one of the beautiful things about the Terra paint, is that you can reactivate it with water. Once it's sealed, but before then you're easily able to reactivate it. Drag that up just a little bit more. I don't want to reactivate it too much when I'm putting on my second coat, which is why you want to allow it time to dry. I'm speeding things up because I'm live with you guys. See? Kind of cool, right? So I kind of have my color map where I want it, and now we'll go from here. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going to mist my brush just because my brush has been sitting out for a minute. We're going to come back in with Onyx. I'm going to stuck it in the purple. I'm going to go ahead. I'm stippling over here just because there's texture on the feet. I just flung paint on myself. Are you an artist if you don't have paint on you? I get it in my hair, on my face. I got it everywhere. You want to hear a funny story? So I was staining something like a beautiful dresser top, and I was staining the top of the dresser. And when I came inside, I had it all over me, which I wasn't worried about because that happens sometimes. Well, I had it on my face, and I thought it was a tick. I seriously thought I had a tick on my face because I had been outside before I went live and was doing this. And no, it was stain. I was very happy to realize that it was just stain and it wasn't a tick. So just to know, yeah, that's the kind of life I live. Crazy stuff happening all the time. Nope, wasn't a tick. Definitely no pain gel stain. I will take no pain gel stain on my face over a tick any day. I don't like ticks. They freak me out. Not a fan. All right, I'm gonna bring this black up a little bit, this beautiful onyx. I'm gonna come up just a little higher, just because I really love this color. I want it to be a little darker and moody. We're gonna bring up the colors just a little higher. That is the beauty of that. All right, so that is good and on there. All right, we're going to go back and add my beautiful elderberry. Okay, and we're just gonna come up a little bit higher. I want the top to be as bright as possible, and then I want it to fade down into this dark. Okay, now I'm going to get paint on my pants. Let's get that off before it sets in. Other great thing about Terra paint, comes right out with water. I just dropped my brush on my leg, and all I had to do was just wet it, and now it's gone. Okay, so I'm going to mist right here, and I'm going to take this nice clean brush, and we're just going to marry these two colors together. I'm going to offload because I don't want this to be loaded with paint. Like I said, you can come any which way when you're blending. If you're afraid to blend, Terra paint is fun because it doesn't really matter and it just looks cool all together. But if you're trying to blend a soft blend, you would want to do two colors that are alike, and they will blend easier because they look more alike. I am not going for a perfect blend on this piece. I'm going for more of a drippy, mossy, swampy look. So now I'm going to come into this bougainvillea. I'm going to learn how to say this paint. All right. And I'm just going to come on up here. I'm just going to let that, I'm not even going to blend it any more than that. I just want it to be very messy, streaky. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. And I know it seems counterproductive to go over what I just painted, but I'm not going to do full coverage right there. I'm just going to come on down. And I like how it pulls. And I'm going to leave it like that. That's what I'm going for. I want the top to be more pink though. Okay, leaving that. And now we're going to come back with this beautiful pistachio. And I think I'm going to pull a little crazy, and I'm just going to pull some of that elderberry up into that just to give it just a little bit more mood. Okay, and now this is where I'm going to mist all up here, because that I want it just to be kind of like a gradient blend, and this I want super like vibrant, streaky, and I can darken it as I need. Offload that. If I really feel like it, I can even pull just a little bit of onyx in here just to feel like I can just darken it just a little bit, because I do want this piece to kind of have that, like, I don't want to say gloomy, but just a darker vibe. But at the same time still have that, like, see how those two pop together? I love the way the onyx blends in with the pistachio. It's just a really fun look. I'm just pulling these guys up because I can go up high enough with them, because it'll look funny if it just starts there. Okay. Hopefully this gives you, okay, my paint is starting to pull, which means I need more water. And what I mean by pull is it's not moving as easily as I would like it to. And again, we're going to go back and forth because I don't want it to be so, I just want it to be like, you can tell that those colors are there, but not like, hey, I'm here. Right, here's the black section, here's the greens. Like, I don't want it to look like that. Okay, offload my brush and add some water. All right, I'm going to pull this down just a little bit. And then you could just kind of pull your colors down so it's not like bam, bam, bam. You want it just to kind of look really pretty. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm going to let that dry while we paint the other side, and then I'm going to come back to it. And if it's not dry all the way, we'll dry it all the way, and you guys will be able to see how she looks. But I'm really loving that. I think it's really beautiful. All right, now let's do the other side. Now, this is the fun part, is trying to get everything to match. And again, I have my sister piece right next to me so that I can, let me grab this inside of this leg. So that I can do that perfectly. And while I'm thinking about it, oh, I just touched it. No. All right, let me fix that because I totally just touched what I didn't want to touch. Okay. Hold on one second, guys. There we go. All better. Did not mean to do that. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to lift my feet. You could use whatever you want. I typically, on smaller pieces, don't worry about putting it on like a rolly cart or rolly wheels or anything like that. I just lift it up. They're small enough to move around. It's not a big deal. I'll come back over these feet again because the feet will stay black. I'm not doing anything else other than that to them. Okay. And now we're going to come on in with that pretty onyx. And I'm coming a little higher this time because on the other side, I realized I wanted it up just a little bit higher. All right, looking good there. Now let's come back in with elderberry. Again, we're just kind of creating that striated look right now. We'll come back and tighten that up on the second coat. So I want to make sure I get all up in here. see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. Okay, leave that be because I know I don't want to pull it up any higher. I'm gonna come in with this green. I'm gonna go ahead and use my blending brush for this just because that is such a bold color. I don't want to just keep blending in green because it will get muddy. I don't want it muddy. Okay, and then I'm gonna do just like I did before, add just a touch of that. Remember, that's just our highlight color, just to give it a little bit of highlight in there. What do you guys think? Super pretty, right? I like to look on camera too because I feel like sometimes when I look in the camera, it looks different on the camera than it does in real life. Just kind of blend these guys out. All right, offload that brush. Now let's heat gun this baby up. I haven't decided if I want to put a transfer on the front. The Buds and Branches transfer has black flowers in it. They have no color. I think they'd be really pretty on the front of the drawers. So I haven't decided if that's something that I'm going to do or not. I really love the sides, but you can only see the sides if you're approaching the side of the piece of furniture. So I think I might just do that. I'm not going to do that today because I want my paint to have plenty of time to dry before I try to apply transfer. Especially with the clay paint because it does hold water longer. You want to give it a little bit more time than you normally would when applying a transfer, just to ensure that all the water is out of it. Because if the water gets up underneath the transfer, sometimes it could cause like cracking or bubbling or something like that. So you definitely don't want to rush that process. You want to take your time and be patient. I know it's hard sometimes, but I promise you it pays off in the end. You don't want to use all your wonderful hard work and everything that you did to have something ruined. You have to sand it off and start over again. So you definitely want to follow the rules when it comes to that kind of stuff. You can kind of rush things a little bit long here, like what I'm doing, but it's not recommended. You want to always make sure that you allow the appropriate amount of time for your furniture to dry. But I don't think you want to sit here with me for 2 hours and talk about nothing while my paint dries. We're literally watching paint dry. So not the funnest thing ever to do. So kind of just, there we go. Looking good. All right, now let's go back in with Onyx. So pretty. Okay, we're gonna do our second coat on our little feetsy feets. I painted my shop door in the Terra paint and I never sealed it. And it is held up. It only has one chip in it, and that's because I slammed a piece of furniture into it on accident. But other than that, even with the kids coming in and out of here like every 2 seconds to go in the refrigerator, I have my extra refrigerator is out here. It is held up so well. So I will tell you, that is a testament to this paint for sure. Because if it can handle kids coming in and out all day long and me working, it's definitely tough. Tough paint. This was a vanity that was taken apart and made into 2 nightstands, which is why this piece right here is different. But I'm going to leave that piece wood because it's the back. No one's going to see that. And I'm going to stain the top black. I will paint this. I'll blend this probably with whatever. But I'm going to, I almost painted that black. I'm definitely going to just do the very top and then this curve, I will paint. Or I may not. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I tend to typically not paint this because this piece of wood and the top piece of wood usually are two different pieces of wood. So it stains differently. If you guys ever notice that when you have, like if you sand all the way on your edges of your piece of furniture and the top is a different color after you stain it, that's why. Because typically they are not the same. I had a client who wanted that look, and then I did it and showed after, like I told her it wasn't going to take, and she wasn't understanding what I was saying, so I had to do it. And then she saw it and she was like, I don't like that. And I said, well, I told you you weren't going to like it because it doesn't match. It's two different things. But sometimes with customers and things like that, you kind of have to show them so they understand, which she was very appreciative, and she really loved the furniture afterwards. So that's all that matters. I very seldomly do customs nowadays, but you always got to make sure your customer's happy. I'm just pulling up. And then just a smidge of water here just to get more movement into those colors. And I'm blending in that beautiful elderberry with onyx. I love it. Love, 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 right, you guys? Isn't it pretty? Such a pretty color. Okay, let's leave that be and now go in to this one. Come back up top and just pull that. I like that look, or it's just like very streaky with the pink. Try not to disrupt that because I like that. All right. I'm just coming in. All right, just leaving that a little streakier. Laying my colors down, then I'll go back and fine tune that blend afterwards. Coming in with that pistachio. And then a little bit with that onyx, just a smidge, just to deepen that look. Pulling color up. And then we're going to add just a little bit more of that elderberry. Okay. All right, now let's give it a good mist. I'm going to come in with my paintbrush. Another little mist. Your paint isn't moving as smoothly as you would like it to. More water, that's your trick. Okay, offload. Pulling that up and down here because I want it to want it to blend together. You don't want it just to be like bam, bam, bam. Okay. Coming over here. This is where I want to add a little highlight, just so it's not so dark. And it just gives it a little pop. Not anything crazy, because you don't want to overblend your colors, especially when they are not the same. They will mud up really quick. And green and pink and black are not exactly contrasting colors, so you got to be really careful with it. Okay, now let's just kind of this is where I probably should have stopped like a minute ago, but I keep going. All right, so I'm going to leave that there. I love the way that that is looking. And let's pop this around to the other side and see how she's drying. All right, still very wet. You can only see like the one corner is drying. So while we're doing that, I brought my little screwdriver out. So let's go ahead and paint the front of these drawers. Let's paint the front of these drawers, and then you guys will be able to see the full effect of where we're going with this. I'm going to use gilding wax on her hardware. Her hardware is really beautiful. It's very like Victorian era. Hi, how are you doing today, Lay? If I'm saying it correctly. Isn't that pretty? All right. All right. Wiggle that guy out there. Oops. No, it has a little nail in there to hold it in place. So make sure that stays there. And now I have my other piece right next to me so I can tell where I am going with this so they still match as much as possible. Let me paint this back leg real quick. You can hear my hardware sliding around. All right, we're just going to paint this leg. Again, I'm leaving the legs black. Okay, that's that. So now we're going to start. And I like to stipple or pounce or however you want to look at it when there is texture on the bottom, because I want to make sure that I'm getting all of that in there. Okay, and now I'm going to look at the sides of my piece of furniture. Yes, I'm using the other piece as reference, but they are not exact. So I'm going to look at the sides for reference to know where my colors need to stop, because otherwise it's going to look really funny if the front is like completely different than the sides. So, all right, we're going to paint. And also when I'm blending, I'm not going to do black, purple, pink. I'm going to do black, purple, and kind of pink, because you don't want it to stop at your drawers. You want, otherwise I just really feel like that looks funny when you're blending. It's like very sectioned. I want it to organically flow. Getting the sides. I want to make sure you really get that in there. And be careful when you're painting the front that you don't get it on the sides like I just did. So then you have to go back and fix it. But I tend to like to do the front last because I already have a map of where I need to go. And I will more than likely come in these details and do that in a different color. I kind of like to do that. That's my thing. And I will I will be using gilding wax on all the raised areas to kind of highlight that just a bit. Okay. Very lightly painting the onyx on that drawer. Okay, so now we're going to come in with the beautiful elderberry, and I already know I'm coming down. I'm going to come down to about there. Okay. And we're just pulling that down. Looking good, right, guys? All right. All right, and I'm just going up a little higher, like I did on the back side with that purple. right, we're just going to come up with the purple. All right, now we're going to go back in with that beautiful pink. And we're really going to get it up there. And we're just going to kind of pull it down. Focus up on this part. Make sure I get good coverage there. And then just pull it on down. Okay. Now on the front, I don't want to go as heavy as I did before with the accent colors, but I just want to do a touch here and there. Just a little touch. Okay, I'm going to grab my blending brush. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Where did it go? Underneath my rag. It's hiding, you guys. I'm going to turn my shirt on inside out because there's not a lot of clean area left. See how it just gives it just that little bit. I'm not looking for like craziness. Again, this is just our first coat. So I'll pull it everywhere else where I want it. But for right now, we'll work with that and see where it goes. So let's dry this baby up. It's so pretty. I love, love, love that. Okay. There we go. There is that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's telling me that I want to bring a little bit more pink down and I want to bring the purple just a little bit down lower. What do you guys think? I think that's so pretty. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit this with our second coat. I'm going to just go ahead. I didn't perfectly dry the feet, but that's fine. We're just going to go ahead and stipple that on to make sure there's no areas that I missed. I'll go back and check later. Not a big deal. Put her down. She's so pretty. I am trying really hard not to keep these because these match my living room absolutely perfectly. And I don't need more furniture in my living room than I already have. But I think they look so pretty on either side of my couch. They just really have that vibe that I absolutely love. Matches my bedroom furniture. My bedroom furniture is purple and pinks and all of the pretty colors. Very girly, very like modern, Victorian goth is kind of how it is. Very modern. Modern, like goth glam, I think is what someone said before. And I was like, I'm totally using that from now on. Very goth glam. Bringing that up. I'm going to kind of leave the U shape, but I'm doing that so I know where I want my color to go, but I don't always like it where it's like pink, purple, black. Like I'm not a big fan of that. But I just want to know where I'm laying my colors out, just so I know I can bring it down to there, but we're not marrying it in that U shape, if that makes sense. More of this purple. Just where I know where I want it to be heavier. Love, 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 love. So pretty. I'm not making any promises. These may end up in my house. This is what happens. All my really fun furniture that I paint, I'm like, I'm going to keep it. Because I do have a booth where I sell all my furniture. So it makes it kind of hard sometimes because, you know, not everybody wants crazy furniture, which is great. I'll put it in there, and if it doesn't sell within a little longer, then it comes home and I keep it. And that's kind of what I do. Like, I'll paint furniture that I'm not mad about keeping at my house. Does that make sense? Is that silly? All right. So now we're going to come back in with this pink. Again, I'm following my sides, pouncing to make sure I get in that little piece of wood grain over here because I don't want any of the wood to show. Well, as much as not a lot of it. Okay. All right, I'm going to pull pink down. I'm just eyeing the other piece, seeing where I started and where not. And then we'll just kind of pull down here. And then we'll add some more purple and pull up. You just go back and forth and just see where you like it. Okay, now we're going to go ahead, add in our beautiful pistachio. Add a chunk of it here, maybe some of it there, definitely some over here. I kind of like that. And then it doesn't have to match exactly the other side, but I do want it to kind of at least represent it a little bit. And then just a smidge of Lonnie's Lagoon. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush off just a little bit. So I'm going to rinse it because I've been blending with it really heavily. When you're using your blending brush, you kind of need to do that sometimes. Because do you see how muddy that is? I don't want it to look like that. So I'm just going to go ahead. I sprayed it with some water, and I'm just getting as much of that paint out of there as I can without oversaturating my brush. So I'm just going to keep doing this until it's almost not doing that anymore. Getting a little lighter every time. You could get a different brush, but if you don't want to use 500 brushes, just offload it a little bit. And now when I do this, there's barely any on my hand, which is perfect. We're going to wet this. Okay. I'm going to start with my lighter colors, and we're going to work down. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to offload my brush. And now we're going to work the other side. If you want to know why your sides don't match sometimes, you got to kind of stop halfway through, offload your brush, and then keep moving. You want a nice, clean blending brush. Okay, we'll just kind of, and I may just want this corner a little darker so it's not so uniform. Okay, we're just going to pull that down just a little bit. Maybe pull some more up. That's pink on there. Okay. Just feathering that on. Feathering that on. Kind of blur that out a little bit. You can paint in X's, you can go up and down. I tend to not do a lot of X's. I kind of will go like this and then go back the other way. That's kind of how I blend. And then my very last is very soft. Just kind of working that out. Okay, now I'm going to take this and just add a little bit dry brushed on, and then just blend her out. Just a little bit. Just so it kind of has that. What do you guys think about her? I think that looks really beautiful. I am going to pull the piece that's next to it over. So you guys can see. I think I did pretty good on matching. I have to fix this foot. So that's why the feet aren't painted on this one. But I think I did a pretty good job on matching them. I think it's pretty awesome. I'm definitely digging it. And then the sides, after they're done, will look like this because they'll have that stencil on them. And then I'm just going to very lightly dust some gilding wax on there just to pop it up and brighten it. So that's what she'll look like when she's done. And this is where we've got our thank you, Patty. I appreciate that. So this is where she looks like now. That's our, let's just dry. This one's almost dry. So let's just go ahead. She's so close to being dry. Let's go ahead and dry her up so you can see what she looks like. She may take this a little bit longer. If she does, I'll stop just because there was water in this because we blended her. So they are my little swamp princesses. I love them. Swamperella. I think that's what we were calling them before. I like that vibe that she's throwing. Ooh, I missed a comment. Let me see what it said. Keep them and bring your tables to the perfect. Right? I totally should. I have these white farmhouse shelves that have the X's on them, and I'm slowly trying to replace all of them. I got them off of Wayfair when I first bought my house because we just needed furniture, and it was just easier to order off of Wayfair, as most do. And now I'm slowly replacing all of the furniture in my house, but I still do need 2 shelves that go underneath my windows. These will not be enough. So until I can find Josephine shelving, which I've never seen in my life, I'm stuck. Or if anybody has any ideas, I was really wanting some industrial shelves we put in, but that's obviously not going to happen. So I have to make do and do something my own, and that's okay. I'm very self-sufficient. I don't need nobody. All right. So there, she's just about dry. Okay, so that is the look dry. Beautiful, right? And then once I put that stencil over here, it's just going to darken it and deepen it. So this is actually just the background for my stenciling. And then this is the background for my transfers. So I think I am going to put some of the Chop Drawer RVA has that beautiful Buds to Branches transfer, and I'm just going to take those black flowers and put them on here and lay them on there. I think they'll be really beautiful. I just really love the black flowers. They're so pretty. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much. I hope everybody has a wonderful day today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch me. I always appreciate that. And I will catch you guys. Add wood you been to your plain shelves. I just want to burn them. They're not even real wood. They're like plastic wood. If they were real wood, I totally would. Anyway, I diverted. All right, I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Same time, same place. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your week. Bye, you guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And thank you so much, Dixie Belle, for having me. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day.